The equalizer is a type of frequency processor. In other words, it's a tool that allows us to boost or lower a certain frequency or a range of frequencies. The EQ is simultaneously one of the most simple and most fundamental tools for an audio engineer. This tool is used on almost every kind of audio records, whether we're working on a single instrument, a part of the record, or the entire mix. EQs can be analog or digital. In this video, we'll focus on the digital ones. For example, we'll be using FabFilter's Pro Q3. The main controls are frequency, gain, and Q. The frequency parameter says the center of the frequency range that we'll be working on. The gain parameter determines how much are we going to boost or lower a frequency in decibels. Q stands for quality factor. This has nothing to do with the quality of the audio. It sets the range of frequencies that we'll be working on. The higher the quality factor is, the smaller the range. Let's look at the type of filters. Firstly, the bell. That's the most common and most flexible filter type. When using a bell filter, it is up to us to choose which frequencies we would work on and how exactly are we going to process them. Next up, low cut. This is the second most common filter. It's specifically designed for cutting out the low frequencies. This is vital for every mix. The high shelf is meant to boost the high frequencies, while the high cut does the exact opposite. The notch is quite useful when cutting out a specific frequency. Bandpass is used when we only need a single band to go through. Tilt shelf is a combination between the low cut and high shelf, cutting out the lows and boosting the highs. And finally, flat tilt. It offers a steady transition between cutting the lows and boosting the highs. And here are a few do's and don'ts. Whenever you're working on human voices or an instrument that doesn't naturally have low frequencies, use a low cut as much as possible. For example, when you're working on a snare drum, feel free to cut everything below 100 or 150 Hz. Or, when working on a guitar, freely cut everything below 50 Hz. A general rule of thumb would be to use low Q settings when boosting and high Q settings when cutting. The behavior of a digital EQ can even be programmed. In other words, we can set them to boost or cut a certain range in a specific time. This is very handy when it comes down to special effects and audio design.